Wishtree. Chapter 23. When Samar exited her house, it was time for the rest of our plan. She paused. Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? Like, what's going to happen? She paused as she always did to say hello, and Bongo, as he always did, said hello back. But this time Bongo surprised Samar by landing on her shoulder and presenting her with a mangled piece of paper. Samar took it from Bongo. This has Steven's name on it. Why on earth do you have it? No way, Bongo said, by way of an answer. Well, I'll be sure he gets this, Samar said. Bongo gave a little caw and headed back to me. Perfect. A simple plan, beautifully executed. Samar would give the homework to Steven. They'd strike up a conversation about how crazy the crazy crow in the big oak tree. They'd laugh, they'd share, they'd realize that they have a lot in common. Voila, friendship. It was a great plan, except for the part that came just seconds later. The part where Samar noticed a friend of Steven's walking by. She dashed over to ask him to give Steven the piece of paper, and that was that. Meddling isn't as easy as I thought it would be, I confessed to Bongo. Hey, I did my part. You were wonderful, I said. Well, we'll just have to try it again. We don't have a lot of time. Red, Bongo said with a sigh. Please don't remind me. Chapter 24. That afternoon, we tried plan number 2. This isn't going to work, Red, Bongo said, strutting back and forth on the lawn. Pessimist, I said. Optimist, she replied, so negative, positive. Secretly, I had my doubts, though. Our second plan required help from one of the babies. There'd been such bickering over which baby would get to assist us, but then there'd been plenty of bickering ever since Francesca's threat to cut me down. It frustrated me to see my residents, the ones who'd miraculously been getting along so well, turn on one another when faced with a problem. Granted, it was a big problem, but if I could handle it, it seemed like the least they could do was behave during our last days together. Bongo flipped a penny she kept in her collection of treasures, and we arrived at our helper, the smallest baby possum, Flashlight. Remember, they're named after what they're afraid of? Let me get this straight, said Bongo. You're afraid of Flash? Shh, Harry Spiders hissed. We try not to say that word around him. So, what do you actually call him? Agnes said. He answers to Flash, Harry Spiders explained. Well, Flash, said Bongo, you understand the drill, right? You pretend to be dead. You guys are good at that, right? Flash nodded excitedly. Possums are the best dead pretenders in the world. So you play dead. Samar and Steven will see you as they're coming home from school. We're hoping they come home at about the same time that I interrupted. And they freak out, Bongo continued. See the cute little, maybe dead baby? Talk about what to do? Are you certain this is safe, said Harry Spiders. I'm feeling just a little faint thinking about it. We'll all be watching, and Steven and Samar are smart kids, I reassured her. They'll know not to touch a sick animal. So they go get their parents, call the wildlife rescue place, or maybe a vet, and while they're busy, Bongo continued, little Flash runs back to his den. Samar and Steven come back out, have a good laugh about the vanishing possum. Maybe the parents even get to talking. I really think you would do a better job, Big U explained. She's a born actor. Or you. This has been officially decided, Bongo said firmly. We flipped the penny, remember? Just saying, Big U muttered. Down the street, the school bell dismissal rang. Places, everyone, Bongo urged. This is totally going to work, I said. This is totally going to fail, Bongo said at the very same instant. Chapter 25, do you think it's going to work? And action, Bongo whispered. Little Flash waddled out onto the middle of the lawn. He lay down on his side and curled up. He closed his eyes. He drew back his lips, revealing tiny needle-sharp teeth. Perfect, Bongo said. Try foaming at the mouth, dear, Harry Spiders called. So there's a picture. It's getting a little bit sunny, but you guys can probably see. Down the street, we could see Steven approaching. Luckily, Samar was just a few yards behind him. Flash leapt up. How am I doing, Ma? Wonderful, my baby, said Harry Spiders. Mommy's so proud of her little bitty possum. Be dead, Bongo cried. Oh, yeah, Flash shrugged. I kind of forgot, Aunt Bongo. I'm not your aunt. Bongo said I'm not even a member of your species. Well, that doesn't really matter, I chided. Be dead, Bongo cried again. Flash hiccuped. Oh my, said Harry Spiders. He does that when he's nervous. How come I can't be dead, said Mom, asked Rose Petal. So that's a skunk. Remember, they're named after good smells. Newbies, quiet, Bongo commanded. Flash, stop hiccuping, dude. Here they come, I whispered. Stephen and Samar. The hiccups got louder. Flashlight, Bongo said. Now. Don't call him that, said his mother. Flashlight froze. He stopped hiccuping. Foam dripped from his mouth. His half-open eyes were glazed and unseen. The works, Bongo whispered. Brilliant. Stephen found Flash first. Samar was close behind. What should we do? Stephen asked. Success, I thought. They were actually talking to each other. Don't touch it, said Samar. It might be Rabbit, or it could just be playing dead. I read that possums will do that. I'll go get my mom. Maybe she can call someone? Sounds good, said Samar. To my disappointment, Stephen and Samar nodded at each other and promptly went into their separate houses. And once again, that was that. All that work for just a few moments of conversation. How exactly did people make friends? How hard could it be? Still, I reminded myself, Stephen and Samar had spoken to each other, and that was a good first step, wasn't it? Flash, Bongo cried. Time to go back to your den, buddy, before they come back. Flash remained frozen in a little possum ball. Uh-oh. Flash, I called. Flash, baby, Harry Spiders yelled. Oh my, said Big U. I don't think your baby's acting. My baby, my precious Flash, cried Harry Spiders, and Flash's brothers and sisters began to wail. You really should have used one of the U's, Big U said. Flash, stop being dead, Bongo yelled. She hopped over to Flash and gently poked him with her beak. How dare you peck my son, Harry Spiders yelled. Flash, I'll save you, baby. Harry Spiders dashed out from her hollow, scrambled down my trunk, and promptly fainted. Oh, great, said Bongo. Just fantastic, like mother, like son. Now what? Wise old tree. You grab Flash, I instructed. Fresh baked bread? You and Big U? You rescue Harry Spiders. Pull her over to Fresh's den under the porch. Harry Spiders called my precious children boisterous, Big U said. Big U said, my children stink. Fresh baked bread said. Over 2 centuries of life, and I'd hardly ever raised my voice. Now was one of those times. Now, I commanded. Just as the door to Stephen's house opened, you'd be surprised how fast raccoons and skunks can move when they're motivated. Chapter 26. Oh, I'm going to stop there.